We are tired of creased foreheads in the morning. We are done with our scarves falling off night after night. We're going scarfless. Introducing My Satin Dreams, the 100% satin bedding accessory. The perfect material for frizz control and skin hydration. Total protection, complete comfort, absolute luxury.
Make sure you use the promo code HIPHOPUN. That's HIPHOPUN to get free shipping. It's a limited time offer, so make sure you act now. The link is located at the top line of the description box. Don't wait, do it now.
At the same time, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. There's a lot of carnage in our neighborhoods. Of course, the racism is an all-time high, but also the gang activity and suicide among our young brothers, particularly our young Black brothers, 20s and 30s, second leading cause of homicide. So if I think on things too much, Reverend Cecil Murray told me that, and I went, that's not true though, really? He says, no, that's true. That we men, as Black men, we don't talk about it. We'll just either do it or find ways to enter into situations that we will get killed, and that definitely gives you, give you pause for tears. So I had gotten to a point, I'll be honest with you, brothers, that I was physically ill from all that's going on, on the one hand, dealing with the because obviously the KKK has infiltrated the police department, and they said that years ago on Geraldo Rivera's show, they will no longer wear the white hoods. They will get into Congress. They will become policemen, and they have fulfilled that promise. So now they do have the license to just even put drugs on someone, or just the least little thing. They have an excuse to murder young Black men. And then on the other hand, the carnage within Chicago and Little Rock, Compton, and the various urban areas where there's no let up there either, So I got physically ill between knowing both of those factors, and specifically having to go to Washington, D.C. area, where we had a moratorium on gang violence for Father's Day weekend. And just to have to hug the mothers who lost their little girls, their daughters, because they didn't give the gang member their phone number, or the gang member would knock on the door and tell whoever their son is, have you decided yet? He says no. They will shoot him right there. And what are you gonna do? Tell the police? They know where you live. What you gonna do? So having to try to make them laugh, and I would do that. I would act real silly, to say the dumbest things possible. But when I got to the hotel room, brother, it just, and then I asked the ministers, that's another area that really brought the tears. These are the men of God, called by Christ. No greater love than to lay down your life for your friend. So at the press conference, I said, I have an idea. If all the ministers in Maryland and DC area, forget about the denominations, but we come together for our Black kids, in the name of Jesus, we march. We'd have the mothers of the gang members with us, the grandmothers. Forget about your denomination. We walk together. We don't point fingers. We go in the name of Jesus, embracing the gang. We don't care what he's done. We just embracing them. We just putting it out there. We will let the power of Christ and our love and uniting together be all that. And the guy that brought me there, he says, Ernie, that's good. That's nice, brother, but that will never happen. because the ministers have such a jealousy of one another. They will not come together. And I said, oh, I can't believe now, just not one or two ministers. It got all the, and you know what, brother? They brought the tears. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nothing. No one called. And I left there with no one calling. So how do you, if the men of God don't think it's that important, right, to come together, to forget about their Rolls Royces and the money they make all the material gains, and that's what it boils down to. Because if you call by Christ, that should matter. You should come together, and if you love your people, you should come together. Nothing. Same thing in Gary, Indiana. You know, I was on a call, and I got so angry, I started cussing. I would call them all kinds of names, you know, the ministers, and the phones are lighting up, right? The lady said, oh, everybody, they agree with you, you know? And I said, you ministers, you pimping in the name of Jesus, you know? And sure enough, I mean, there are so many churches there. There are over 400 churches in Little Gary and Danny. Would you believe? Not one. And she says, oh, they did try. And then they had an argument and didn't meet anymore because they couldn't decide who was gonna be the leader. So that's where I'm at. So if I don't think about it too much, if I'm in prayer and I think about, let me look at the good, like these young black kids who have a higher IQs than anyone in the world, and the young kid that got into Harvard, and he had he was the first male valedictorian at 4.4 something. I got to look at all that, you know. And then I have to remember the real deal. We having the most copy culture in the world, you know. Thinking about that, we were first. I don't mean we have to look down on anyone else, but God breathed breath into us first. And our kids have to know our history don't begin with slavery. You know, we were first. We even enslaved people, but we were the first that God talked to and spoke to and walked with, right? We were God's road dog. And we have to know that history, you know, that we come from a rich spiritual history, you know, achievements off the chain, you know, and that remember that and walk with that crown, walk with that you are a child of the King, like you were the first. That don't mean to look down on anyone, but you birthed everything else. And wear that crown, you know, forget about everything else, knowing that information and go with it, go with God, achieve it as John 14:14, ask anything in my name. And stop begging and asking, as I told Jesse Jackson's son when he was trying to boycott. And I actually went to Push. I was at Push, and because we were doing a play in town, and Bernadette Stannis from Thelma, she said, please, Ernie, don't say anything. Don't say anything. And then I had to. I said, can I just say something? I loved Reverend Jackson, but we are bigger than that. Yeah. We don't have to march and protest the Oscars. We are trillions and trillions of dollar nation, you know, and we have to pool our monies together like our fellow Italians did, the Jewish brothers did, the Mormons did. The Mormons were outcasts. They killed the leader of the Mormon at 38, 39 years old. They thought that was it. Then they said, oh, okay, we're going to unite among ourselves. We're going to put all our money together, and we keep the money within us. They are the richest religion in the world. No welfare, no relief. They don't have unemployment. They take care of their own.